his phone number. In those years, he battled the right-wing religious zealots in favor of a nation that champions its cultural riches and supports the free exchange of ideas, and in his spare time, turned Ron Marlenet into a lobbyist. He's a man of his convictions. The last speech my dad gave as a member of the House was not to donors. It was to a conference in Phoenix with me for the Americans with disabilities. The last speech he gave was a convicted moment in his career. It wasn't to further his political agenda. He's what's right, and he's the symbol of what's right with public service. He retired from Congress in 1996, and he and my mom moved back to Montana instead of staying back east and, cashing in on their influence and their years of service. They returned here to serve the place that they loved in a different way. Dad began teaching at the university while Mom considered a run for legislature. Now, many of us had suspected that the real reason that Carol ran for office was that so she could move to Helena and get a little me time away from you-know-who. And for most people, when they got to get a little break from their spouse, you just take a trip somewhere. She decided that she needed to get half of Missoula to vote for her in order to be able to... And now she's term limited. So we're all friends here. And I know you want this marriage to work, so we've started to circulate this petition to do away with term limits, and I hope all of you will sign it. You go around the country and you stop in the diners, you ask the local people where they learn their values from. Most frequently, it will be the response is my mom. I got the crying gene from her. Mom grew up in a political household also. And her father, Hannah Griffith, was the mayor of Butte, as Nancy said. And Mom learned early on that if you roll up your sleeves, you can change things for the better. And I think that's been the fundamental sort of tenet in their careers. During the height of the Reagan era's saber-rattling with the Soviet Union, Mom founded an international peace group called Peace Links. And it was a reaction to the fear-mongering of the day, and Carol believed that if we knew these people, we probably wouldn't fear them. So she set out for about a decade of work to unite women of the US and the Soviet Union, the Eastern Europe, Japan, and China. She brought this neighborly kitchen table ethic that she'd learned in Butte to our relationship with the Eastern Bloc. She led a delegation to the UN Women's Conference in Beijing in 1995 and was voted Peacemaker of the Year. As you all know, my mom quietly became the first female majority leader in the Senate in the history of the state of Montana. And then... I say quietly because she literally called me up and she goes, I think I might be the first female to hold the job. Isn't there somebody up there that would know that? And then even more quietly became the first female minority leader in the Senate. Got awful quiet in here. She, like Pat, has the power of her convictions. She's more frightening than he is, and our governor can attest to that. And she holds a grudge, like any of you who helped Obama in the primary. Because she's just now beginning to talk to me again. Her steps, like my dad, started with small ones. They saw injustices close to home and they tamped them down before they were going to become big injustices. We've always suspected that if Carol ever ran for elected office, she might actually eclipse my dad in the process, which reminds me, if any of you guys call my folks' house, would somebody ask for him? Because all he ever says is, hang on, Carol, it's for you. Every time that phone rings, he's going to stop answering the phone, I swear to God. At the root of all this, my folks believe in helping people, in being humble, honest, and standing up for what you believe in. It's pretty simple. And after all these years, they've led by example. Let's show them how much we appreciate all this time they've been working for us. My folks, Carol and Pat Williams.